Hello, welcome to Getting Real with Andrew Cohen. We have a great show for you today. We have a great show today on the show. We have LEO LYTEL here. LEO LYTEL is a American stand-up comedian and and he's a really cool guy. And this is from the former Five Live comedy. And I don't know if you know LEO LYTEL. LEO was on season 10 of America's Got Talent. Unfortunately, he did not make the top 80 shortlist to perform in the judge cuts. But he's still doing very well. He's still doing well. He's not he still performs, and he's from Washington DC, and he's a really cool guy. We have a lot of similarities, and he has a Jewish mother. He started young, and so there's a lot we connect to. We connect a lot in the interview, which is good because I don't get to talk to as many stand-up comedians, and so it's very exciting when I get to do one, and it was great. So some announcements before we get into the interview. On the show later, I think probably November and December, very exciting, we will be having Ian Armitage on the show. Ian Armitage stars as Sheldon Cooper. Can't believe I'm saying this. He stars as Sheldon Cooper, young Sheldon, as well as being an online theater critic on YouTube. So that's going to be very exciting to get to. That's in terms of timing. So we don't know when that's going to be. Whenever I guess they get a break or whenever we figure it out. But he will be here. We know that. We know he will be here, and it'll be very exciting to have him here, because it's like. That's the thing, it's very good to interview people who are relevant right now, So then, also, there's no definitive date because we don't know when this is happening or if it's going to happen, but we will be having Finn Wolfhard on the show, and Finn Wolfhard is huge. He's Mike Wheeler in Stranger Things, and he plays who in It? Who's he playing It? I always forget this. He's in. I'll tell you why it's big, because so he's Mike Wheeler in It. He's Mike Wheeler in Stranger Things, and he's Richie Tozier in It. He is the best friend of Bill Denborough, and he, it's going to be great. That's going to be great having him. We don't know. He's currently filming a movie called Dog Days, so we don't know when that's going to happen. It's going to happen after he's done filming, so I'll keep you guys updated on that. And I don't know if we said this also, but we will be having Thomas Barbuska on the show. Thomas stars as Chip Pennington in the Fox series The Mick. So we have some exciting things ahead. I'm really excited to see what we have ahead. All of these are in terms of timing. They will happen, it just in terms of timing and when we can work it out. So, so that's about it. Please get ready for LEO LYTEL, and here we go. 3, 2, 1, let's hit it!
Ace Podcast.
Leo, welcome to the show.
Thanks. I'm glad to be here. Glad to be on the podcast.
Thanks. It's nice to meet because I interview a lot of sort of actors and writers. It's nice to meet a fellow stand-up comedian, finally someone from this world.
Well, no, I love stand-up and definitely a stand-up comedian, but I would not want to rule out the prospect of getting into entertainment and other fields like acting and writing. I have a huge respect for what those guys do, but I feel where you're coming from. It's not really like anything else in this world.
Yeah, I mean, because it's very hard, I guess, for yeah, I guess it's because it's very rare to find teenage stand-ups. It's one of the rarest things.
Yeah, because I mean, stand-up is something that you don't really start that early, and you got to kind of get experience at it.
Do you know sort of stand-ups your age?
I know one. I know Liza. Her last name escapes me right now, but her and I were featured in a newspaper article in DC. Some time back. It wasn't a big thing, but it was a little boost to both of our publicities. It's my understanding that she stopped doing stand-up, but I mean, you know, she found something more interesting, I guess. Not everybody's calling, but I haven't known a lot of people my age in this.
She saw a sign.
Yeah.
She's like, oh, this is what I'm meant to do.
I think she's playing like lacrosse in college right now.
Yeah. So yeah, she probably, you know, found her calling. But do you feel stand-up would be your first love, I guess?
In terms of entertainment, absolutely. Yeah. Stand-up is always my first, because I got into it like really, really young. And like it was always being pushed on me by my dad. Like I would listen to that stuff as far back as when I was 8 and starting at like 13. Yeah. But like I feel like no matter what else I branch out into in terms of entertainment, whatever else it'll be, I'll always in my core be a stand-up comedian.
Yeah. Do you who would your dad sort of show you at 8?
When I was a little kid, we listened to a lot of George Carlin.
Oh, wow.
And then later on, Louis Black, Louis C.K., Pryor, Murphy. A lot of just a lot of the and then some of the older ones, like Lenny Bruce, like because my dad is definitely into like the greats of comedies. He's an older soul like that, and
they all.
Exactly.
Yeah.
No, but I feel like at this point I've listened to a great deal of comedians across the spectrum. But yeah, back when I was 8, it was mostly just the old school.
Back when you're 8, because that's kind of weird, because I would have never expected, when I was 8, I don't think my dad would have ever showed me George Carlin. But
just cared about stuff like that. Like I saw the first Rush Hour movie when I was a little kid.
Well, I guess I guess that's more sort of a parenting thing, I guess. But I mean, I guess it was good that you sort of, you know, caught it early. I guess sort of because that
story. That's the story of my life right there. Caught it early.
Do you Sorry, I just lost my train of thought. Did you did which of those comedians sort of really impacted you, like made you be like, oh, I want to do this?
I don't think it was so much as one performer that inspired me to pursue stand-up, but more so just me discovering what it felt like to perform. Like, because I'd heard all these guys before, and there wasn't one of them that stuck out to me as like the guy. But then when I started to understand what that feeling of performing is, like as the crowds got bigger and that kind of like, it's like a rush. It's like adrenaline. It's like riding a roller coaster or anything else like that. And once I got a taste of that, that was definitely what pulled me into stand-up. And I don't think that any one specific comedian had anything to do with that process.
Mm-hmm. What happened to me is that, do you know Anthony Jeselnik is?
I'm not familiar, no.
He's a sort of a dark stand-up. He's very, very dark. Does jokes about, well, imagine everything you could possibly think about. That's like you shouldn't joke about. And that's sort of, I watched he had a special, and that was like, I guess for me that was like, ooh, this is what I want to do. Like, I don't know, because I like talking to people, seeing if they have like a moment that hits them. But so you were more of a all-around guy, I guess.
Yeah, it sort of just happened gradually with me. Mm-hmm. Although definitely my moment of like committing to this entirely was had to be my America's Got Talent thing.
Okay, yeah.
Just because it was like so many people, and once you're in front of like 20,000 people, you give a set and everybody laughs. There's nothing else like that. And you get off and you get off the stage and you're like, I want to do this all the time, as many times as I can. Yeah. So like that was probably the moment I decided where stand-up was what I had to do with my life.
Mm-hmm. I did see your I think the way I sort of discovered you was because I had a friend and I was in class and my friend's like, hey, there's this kid on YouTube who's like basically who does what you do. And then I was like, oh, who is he? He's like, his name is Leo Lytel. And then, so he showed me, he's 15 years old. I was like, oh, I'm 15. He's like, he's a stand-up, 15-year-old stand-up comedian. I was like, I'm a 15-year-old stand-up comedian. He's like, he's also Jewish. I was like, oh my God, I'm Jewish. So it's like, it's kind of weird seeing the connection.
Yeah, there's a spiritual bond here.
Yeah, it's very, very spiritual.
The white male Jew comedians. We gotta stick together.
Yeah. But it was kind of surreal seeing that. And then I see it, and your set was like, it was hilarious. It was really funny.
Best 90 seconds of my life, hands down. Better than the time I lost my virginity. Like that doesn't have shit on that experience. Like,
I can imagine. But then I saw what you did for Gotham, and basically everything outside of America's Got Talent, and it's wildly different from what.
Oh yeah, because they won't let you swear on AGT.
Oh yeah,
so
NBC.
They just I would tell those jokes on that stage. I just am incapable of doing so. But then when I'm in like an environment like a nightclub and I can just be kind of free with it, no one's gonna oust me for saying dirty words. I'm not gonna get a censor.
Yeah, I mean, you did do some pretty like I heard one of your jokes. You insulted DC inside DC.
I mean, I'm from DC. I feel totally comfortable making fun of DC because it's my home.
Because you're like, because then I heard they were like, oh, too soon. Like, I mean, that was one thing. Yeah.
I don't know. It depends on the room. Like, I've definitely had hard rooms like that where, this one time I did a performance at a spoken poetry session. Ooh. Those people don't like it when you tell jokes, which is just unfortunate. Like, the whole thing was spoken word, and then I'm just the one stand-up comedian who's there, like, as the break entertainment. And those people were just like, no, they did not want to laugh at anything that was kind of provocative or edgy.
Do you find, because I know, so you've been doing it for about like 5 years now. So,
yeah, coming up on 5.
Yeah, coming up on 5. Are you like do a 1-year anniversary, 5-year anniversary celebration, or?
I don't know. I mean, I don't remember even the exact date.
Oh.
That it had to be like April, but I'm not gonna. Nah. I mean, I'll celebrate it when I get to like 10 or maybe 25 years in this business.
Yeah. So you've been doing it for 5 years. So have you sort of developed like a a stand-up sense of when you're in a room when there's like you don't have a good crowd? Have you sort of developed?
Yeah, it's gotten a lot easier to read the room and like kind of gauge people's reactions. Like, if for example, if I have a set and I tell a joke and it just like gets kind of crickets, then I'm like, well, I might have to improvise some other material because I know that this material is so akin to what I just performed, and these people probably aren't gonna like jump into it. They're just gonna be lost with me this whole set.
Have you ever did this ever happen to you? Did you ever do a set? Did you ever do a set where that kind of happened, but you didn't? But like the rest of your set was sort of on the theme of that type of jokes. Like, let's say it was a set of full of like. Because I know you did a bunch of, you did a bunch of, like, pussy jokes. So.
Another funny concept to me.
Yeah.
You write your life.
Yeah. True material, true to the heart. But, so did you, like, let's say that was, like, all you had for an entire set, and nobody laughed at the first one. Do you have, like, a backup plan of what you'd go do?
I would say that at this point in the game, I would never enter into a set that kind of unprepared.
Okay.
I would always it's like stocks, you diversify your interests so that if you put everything, I can't put everything into this one thing and then it crashes.
Yeah. You have to have plan A through Z.
Exactly.
Yeah.
That's the only thing that separates a good like comic, a good comic from a bad comic. It's just preparation. Like, people think that we're just coming up there and just telling what's on our minds, but we write this shit down prior. Like, there's a whole lot of prep work that goes into it.
What's your writing technique? I just use the Apple Notes.
I honestly just walk around and use like notes on my phone, or like sometimes if I'm at my computer, I'll type something up. Very rarely do I just do handwritten because my handwriting is awful.
I literally, because like sometimes I'd be off on my phone writing a joke about something somebody said, and I'd be like, so what are you doing? I was like, I'm writing about you. Exactly. What a lovely person you are, because it's like, And so you sort of developed this kind of and also I noticed that your last YouTube video was from basically almost a year ago. Have you sort of turned your focus towards other things like school, or what happened?
I would just say that I am taking a break until I turn 18 because I'm just dealing with a lot in high school. Like I've got like SATs. Like this is the part where I determine my future because as much as I love stand up, I'm going to college. Like that's gonna happen. I'm gonna have to reconcile the two.
Mm-hmm. You had to accept your fate.
Exactly. No, if I didn't go to college, my dad would disown me.
Your dad would disown you.
Probably.
Yeah.
The point.
I also saw one of the jokes you did was your mother was like a target. He's like you did. It was something like, oh mom, you only did 50%, which was good, which is better than the last one. But how did your mom sort of react to that joke? I don't know if you remember.
My mom is always pretty cool with me making fun of her or anything in my life because she just loves what I do. I would say that the only time that my stand-up makes me aggravated with my mom is that she's always trying to insert herself into the process in the terms of like, she'll just say like about anything, be like, that should be a joke. You could write a joke about that. And it's just like, I'm just trying to have a conversation.
Yeah. Do you get that? Do you get, since you sort of established yourself as a stand-up comedian in your community, do you get like, oh, so tell me a joke? Like, do you get that?
I've had that happen before. I've had people walk up and be like, you're Leo LyteL, tell me a joke. And I'm just like, I don't want to. Like, it's 7 a.m. I have like sleeps in my eyes. I just want to like go to school. Please leave me alone. Yeah. Like, I've been there.
I've gone to parties where I'd be like, okay, before I go in, I need to have the tester. Because I find that a lot more than other people. So I'd have to go and I'd have to like go in with a tester, or like go in prepared. So people say, I was like, okay. So because you don't want to disappoint people. So
yeah, no.
I guess I remember the last time I went to a party. My one is I was like, okay, here it is. I decided to go vegetarian for a week to see what it was like to be condescending.
Yeah. You could also just go vegan on that.
Yeah, actually, that's what my sister said. I told my sister that one. Literally, she's like, you could also say vegan.
Your sister is could be a stand-up comedy writer. You two could do a duo act.
She's a dancer. She's kind of in Italy, so I don't know how that would work. She doesn't live in Italy. She's abroad. She's in college. She's better than everyone else.
Oh God.
Yeah. I heard this joke by Bob Saget. He was talking about his teenage daughters, and it made me think of my sister. And he said, my sister's 17. We like to call her the center child because the world revolves around her. And then I was like, that's totally her. Like, do you have any brothers or
older brother? He's also in college.
Also in college.
I've been pretty cool with my older brother. I've been pretty cool with my older brother though recently. Like when we were little kids, he definitely used to like make fun of me and like, do typical older brother shit, just like pick on me. But now that we're both like essentially becoming adults, our relationship has mellowed out into something that is reasonable.
Reasonable. It's never perfect.
It's never perfect. It can't be. It's family.
It's the best you can do.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's the same thing that I see that with a lot of siblings, It's like when they're younger, it's like, I hate you. You're the devil. And then when you're older, you're just like, oh, you're okay.
Yeah, like you're just another person and you like really remind me of myself in some ways. Yeah. Let's talk.
It's like all teenagers eventually get like tired out from arguing for like, it's been 15 years. God damn it. Let's just agree to disagree finally.
Exactly.
Yeah. So, but what was, I saw, I didn't get to, see it, unfortunately. I saw there was a thing of you that, you went on a radio and said, why did Leo LyteL disappear from AGT? So, I didn't watch it because I wanted to hear what happened personally. So, I guess apparently you disappeared.
Well, what happened was I did the audition, the one in front of all the people, the one that everybody saw, and I had to keep disclosure about what had happened. Like, I did that like months before it aired.
Yeah.
And was just waiting around to get the green light for the next like series of things we would be shooting. I then instead received an email basically stating that like there were too many people already going on the show, and so they were rejecting like auditions that had made it. So they did a weird thing where they put me on TV, but they didn't give me the actual space to do the show further. Like they just kind of cut me out. And they do that with a lot of people. Is what you realize about AGT is I'm not unique in that factor. Like it's like they get the people who pass the auditions, and then like the cream of that is who actually ends up on the show. I don't know.
That's like most things. I think I find that like if you go to an acting audition, you know, it's like you might get cast, but then they'll pick the cherry on top of the cream, like as you said. So, you know, I think that's something, you know, you find a lot.
Yeah, I mean, I respect their decision. It really did not put me in a good way. It really upset me at the time. But like, like I was so looking forward to that. I was looking forward to actually maybe becoming something through this. But like, I'm patient. I'll wait.
Yeah. I mean, Howie Mandel said that
future comedy superstar.
Future comedy superstar. You really show that on your website. That's like everywhere. Is that you considered it a great honor?
That's the highest praise I've ever received. I think is Howie Mandel calling me a future comedy superstar.
What if that was take a what? So that wasn't just like Leo has left for 5 seconds.
No,
now he's back. That wasn't like taken out of context. It'd be like, you're gonna be a comedy superstar in hell. Like that wasn't, you know.
Yeah. No, the context in which he said it was very. Yeah. He was very sincere. I felt.
Okay. I'm just kidding.
At least I hope.
You know? You never know.
I hope he's not just. Yeah, he just sees me. And he's like, get the next one. Like.
They say that to everybody.
Yeah.
I mean, he's how he meant. I mean, he hosted The Price is Right, so you know. No, that. Oh God.
Deal or No Deal.
Deal or No Deal.
Deal or No Deal. The greatest.
The
greatest game show that has ever been.
I was gonna say the greatest arcade show that's ever been, but you know.
Fair enough.
Yeah, I love you. Yeah, that's an amazing game. So you have So you've grown up around DC. You've always lived here.
Pretty much always lived in DC. Yeah. I lived in Syracuse when I was a little baby. So, like, from 99 to, like, 2000, but I came here in, like, 2001. I've been here ever since, so pretty much my whole life.
You're lucky because you probably live, you know, in distance, like, how far do you live from, like, the clubs, I guess, in your...
A little farther. I'm not exactly downtown. I'm in, like, 10, like, so, like, near AU Park.
Do you, so, like, what are we talking? Hour, half hour, 45 minutes?
Like 45 minutes.
Okay. Yeah, because I guess I've only performed in one club. I guess that's the trouble with parents. They don't want to drive you. Because I live outside New York City. So for me, if I want to do it, it's a whole adventure, right? You got to take the train. You got to eat dinner. You got to do all this stuff. And that's the one thing. Have you ever found trouble with that? Like you wanted to perform a club, but it's like, oh, we just need to find the time. And it's like, have you sort of ever been sort of delayed?
Delayed, but never deterred. I've done a lot of things just to make sure I get my sets in. Like, one time I had a show at a Gotham.
Yeah, I saw
and
that.
And I had school that night. Oh, you didn't see this one because it was not that great of a tape.
Okay.
Essentially what happened is I got in the car. We drove from DC to New York. As soon as I got out of school that day, made it just in time for the show, did the show, got back in the car, drove back to DC, and then had like 3 hours of sleep.
Oh my God, how far is that drive? So you drove back twice to New York from DC?
I drove from DC to New York, back to DC in one day.
Holy shit. So how far is that drive? I'm guessing that's like 6 hours?
Yeah, more like 5 or 6, 5.5, but yeah, give or take, not 6 if traffic's bad.
Yeah, that's the definition of support.
It was, yeah, my parents, they love what I do and they're always supporting me, honestly. And that's like the best part of them is that they never are like, they've never heard me like have a joke even and been like, I don't agree with that. Like at worst, they're just like, they try to help me improve it.
Yeah.
But they're always trying to just help out. They never dissuade me from doing anything.
Oh,
in stand up.
You're lucky.
I am. I'm very lucky.
Yeah, I tell my dad a joke and he's like, "That's a bad joke." He'll be like, "No improvement. That's a bad one, Andrew." So, yeah. So I was like, I'm just like, "Dad, what about a suggestion?"
Love me.
Love me. Exactly. Do you has that ever been like a consequence? Like you'd be like, "You're not going to the set tonight because you did this," or
yeah. My dad has been like, "We are postponing your stand up until your grades improve."
Oh. Mm-hmm. Do you do things in school that sort of like improv, I guess, would be the closest to stand up or acting or theater?
I never really tried theater. I didn't really want to be a part of it. Didn't like the scene.
Mm-hmm.
Not in terms in general. Like I'd love to do theater at some point, but my high school theater.
Your high school theater, yeah. I find how would you describe your theaters? Are they kind of like ditzy?
Yeah, very, very fragile and special snowflakes over there.
Yeah, we're like the same human being.
I guarantee you we've had a lot of the same thoughts, both doing what we do and dealing with the same kind of people who we deal with.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, though, fortunately, I guess the ones that I did, it was in front of friends and family, so I didn't have the chance to bomb. They wouldn't let me.
Fair enough. I've bombed several times.
You bombed several times.
For every good show, there's like a terrible show. Pretty much is my record.
Yeah.
I just keep the terrible ones off record.
That's not the ones you post on YouTube. No one can
see them. Yeah, no one can see those ones.
You shouldn't. No, but I feel like you should put like 1-2 minute video just to show that, listen, guys, I'm an honest human being.
Yeah, like I'm just a normal person. I'm not some grandiose thing or an idea or just a dancing puppet for everyone's amusement. I'm just a dude who does other things besides this.
Yeah. Do you have you bombed using jokes that have gotten laughter, or are these like new jokes that you're just testing out?
Sometimes it's been new jokes that I'm just testing out, and sometimes a room will just not react the same way to a joke that has previously worked.
Mm-hmm.
And that's a phenomenon I can't explain as well. But in terms of, sorry,
that's okay.
I don't really want to get into all that actually.
Okay, that's fine. Yeah, I understand. Have you where do we go from here? So have you what was I gonna say? See, everybody's losing their train of thought. Do you get good grades? You gotta start somewhere.
Not really. I mean, like I get okay grades.
Okay.
I pass.
Oh, it's okay. This is, don't worry.
High school's a drag for me, man. Like I hate it
I
so
hate it.
much.
It's terrible. I've been trying to get into online school for like 2 years. Literally.
I'm just riding it out. I'm almost done.
Yeah, I know what you mean, because it's like you're like, I was on America's Got Talent. I don't need to be here. Does that? I mean, that thought must have encompassed your mind at some point. I've been like,
yeah, but now that it's been so long since that happened, like, all right, I either have to do something else to prove that I'm awesome, or shut the hell up about the thing that happened 2 years ago. Like, one of those two things has to happen.
Yeah. Does it? One of your jokes said that you'd be like, oh, I'm lucky I do here because then I try to do it in a class and my classmates are like, shut the fuck up, Leo. Does that actually happen? Does that happen?
I mean, not really, actually. It depends on like the setting. There have been some classes in my life where I have just been like king class clown and it's been hilarious. And other times where I have like said something that I thought was funny and then someone else is just like, shut up, and I'm just like, whatever, man. Okay, crucify me over that, whatever.
You should do. You've probably done this. I mean, you've been doing it for so long. You've probably done this, but I did this. Have you ever done stand up to get a better grade on like a project or something? Have you said like, I'll do some stand up for the class if you just give me an A- on this test?
I have had presentation grades be my stand-up. Like, I had a public speaking class, and they found out
that's what happened to me.
And they let my final be a set that I did.
Yeah, I literally, I did that too. I did a math project. I did an English project. I got a B+. I was like, hey, do you want me to do some stand-up? And let's raise that to an A. And then the teacher was cool. He was like, oh, sure. So then I did it, and I succeeded. So, but but do you do that? Is that for more of a one-time thing, or is that like a often thing, I guess?
Is what an often thing?
You do like stand-up for classes?
No, not often.
Okay.
Very, like, a few times.
Yeah.
I don't...
You can't
I don't
swear.
want to.
Yeah, you can't swear. You can't say whatever you
Oh,
want.
well, I mean, it's public high school, though, so, like, you're gonna swear.
Yeah.
But it's not so much that as, like, I'm not comfortable in front of all those people. Like, I'm more comfortable in front of strangers than I am in front of these, like, kids who are all around me and who will potentially ridicule me.
Yeah.
It's just something I don't want to put up with.
Yeah. I just learned my lesson about doing stand-up in school. It was because I had a teacher named Miss Clark. I'm gonna say no. I'm not supposed to name drop according to my parents, but whatever. So I had this teacher. I said I would do shorts. I'll do the short version. I said I would do stand up for this talent show. I do my jokes. I'm not able to do them because they're so dark. And she was like, I told her the next day I couldn't do it, and then she disowned me as a person.
Damn.
It's
a rough go of it.
She literally said, if you don't do this, I will not give you a college recommendation. You will not I will never talk to you again. I was like, you gave me a C, bitch. I don't care. I didn't say that.
That's wild.
I just
hey man,
walked,
I've said a lot worse, and I've meant it, so I'm not judging.
Yeah, really. Have you what's sort of like your worst joke? I guess not worst, not like bad joke. Like, what's your most like inappropriate joke? You can say it here.
My most inappropriate joke.
Yeah.
I don't know. That's tough. Like, I have a few jokes that are about sex, but they're honestly not that graphic, and I don't have a lot of like violent jokes. The jokes that generally get the most blowback from me are the ones that are like about a social topic that's a little too like, I don't know, close to home for people.
Climate change.
Yeah, sure, climate change. Why
I
not?
saw that. As when I was watching you, I saw that. I saw you did a joke about climate change, and then you were getting like, oh.
Yeah, it's a thing, you know. I'm sorry that you don't want to believe that it's a real thing that happens, but
yeah, there
you go. There are the facts for you.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, how severe climate change is, that's one thing to debate, but its overall existence is just irrefutable at this point. So
that's something.
Those reactions don't bother me. I'm like, whatever, dude. It's okay that you're ignorant.
Yeah. Do you is that sort of something you're kind of passionate about? Or like, do you like talk about issues in your stand-up that you're kind of passionate about, or just things that people might find funny?
I definitely try to make it something that I am passionate about because I think that makes it funnier. It makes me want the joke to work more.
Yeah.
Where if I'm just like writing it just to write it, and I'm just like, just crank this out of the machine to get the approval of others, like that that's not really why I want to do this. I want to do this because I like bouncing my ideas off of other people.
Yeah.
And so if it's something that's unique to me, whereas, no, wait, what were you gonna go for?
No, I said I was gonna say I literally did this to offend people. And that's kind of weird. I'm not a sociopath. Don't be concerned.
Hey man, I've also had sets that I don't do this just to annoy people, but I have had sets that I have written just so that I can annoy the shit out of people. Just so that I can be like, this is going to be really funny for me and no one else.
Yeah. Just like, it's sort of more like, hey guys, listen, this wasn't for you guys, okay? This was for me. It was for me personally. It was a personal joke for me.
It's honestly what I do when I get booked at venues that are just absolute trash. Like, I got booked at this place. I don't want to say the exact location, but the point is that we did the show in the kitchen, and like there was a blender going on during other people's sets, and it was all like folding chairs just set up for that. And the guy like had booked me for it. I was just like, I'm just gonna tell like my most awful jokes, like time to break out all the rape humor, every Holocaust oven joke I've ever heard, and just ruin this guy's show and just make everyone hate him.
Did you do that?
Absolutely. It was yeah.
That-
I can be a spiteful and vindictive person when I'm pissed off.
Mm-hmm.
I'll do things that even aren't necessarily in my own best interests, that.
Do you have like a set of jokes aside that's like the things that I'm not supposed to say, like the rape and the Holocaust stuff and jokes, I guess.
Don't we all have that one joke that we're never gonna utter again, but we just replay it over and over again in the back of our head?
Yeah, I have that. I had that recently, because I think of the worst shit you can think of. It sounds wrong. I think of the worst things, and my friend, all the listeners are gonna think I'm a total fucking psychopath after this, but I had a joke. My friend sent me an article where a girl, it's gonna sound wrong, she committed suicide on video.
Go on.
You're just like, oh my god, this is gonna be great. No, so then I was like, and she said she committed suicide because she was being bullied, and I was like, that doesn't make any sense. If she was being bullied, then who did she expect to watch the video? Yeah, see, exactly.
Like, I find that kind of stuff funny. Like, that's funny to me. I have a dark sense of humor.
Exactly.
Like, and it's not that that's all that I dabble in, but it's, like, hidden away. Like,
yes.
I just go, all the, like, fucking live leak videos and, like, 4chan shit and Reddit, like, subreddits have just, like, degraded my sense of dignity and, like, moral decency to the point where, like, I can just, like, laugh at anything now.
Yeah, I told that to my friend. He didn't think that was very funny. He said I should have gotten help.
You got me in your corner. I think it's funny.
Thank you, Leo. I appreciate that. I need some support for that. I need some support for that joke. But do you ever so you actually, how about this? I did I'm sort of switching different topics. I'm sort of like an Aaron Sorkin screenplay. That's a writing joke.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know if do you know the movie The Social Network?
Yeah.
Do you know how, like, the dialogue is very fast paced? Yeah. No, actually, no. Oh, found it in my brain. What I want to say. You have, so you have, 3 cats. One named Ninja. One named, I forget the second one.
One's name is Mitch, and then one's name is Kitty.
Kitty. I saw your joke about Mitch. That was a great joke.
Mitch is a cat that you can get so much humor from. Because he's had 2 strokes, but now he's just, like, totally fine. Like, you've recovered. It's weird.
Yeah. Like, when you say, like, why would I name a cat Mitch? I was like, because then the way you, like, sort of expressed your anger and annoyance was just, like, so funny. Like, you were like, I forget the line that you said that was, like, the sort of the punchline. Something like, I think you were, like, talking about, like, oh, this is pussy joke number 2. Something, oh yeah, so it was like, oh yeah, I think it was like, nobody's named Mitch, you pussy.
Yeah, that's not a cat's name, you pussy.
Oh, okay.
In reference to Mitch.
Yeah.
I remember that joke.
Mm-hmm. How'd you name him Mitch? Is that actually what happened?
I honestly don't remember. It did happen. I am the one who named him, but I was like 8 years old. I can't tell you what inspired me to choose the name Mitch, but it just happened.
Mm-hmm. Do you so is that sort of a popular thing in your stand-up? You talk about your cats, or is that like a
that's not. I don't want to be that guy.
Okay, you don't want to be the cat
the
joke
crazy
person.
Cat guy, but like I have a few in there because
Yeah.
I exist with cats, and that's something I can get humor from. It's something real.
You want to be you don't want to be stereotyped as the Leo Lytetel, the cat guy.
Yeah, I don't want to develop that niche. I think that audience, well, it's there. It is there. It's not what I'm looking to tap into.
Mm-hmm. Who are you looking to tap into? Like, what's your sort of what would you define as your niche?
See, I don't want to have a niche because I just want to become A-list and get a lot of money from doing this and then retire at 30. So like, fuck a niche. I'm trying to get paid.
Yeah, I think that's what a lot. Oh my, the connection again. That's exactly. I originally wanted to be a director because I was like, yeah, they seem like they make a lot of money. It wasn't about like interest at all. It wasn't about passion. It wasn't about wanting to do this. It was just, oh, they make a lot of money, and then developed sort of, was it passion then money, or was it like money then passion? I'm guessing it was passion then money.
It was passion then money, because when I was young, you don't really think about money. You just think about what you're having fun with. But then as I got older and I saw that other stand-up comedians, people doing the same thing around me, are making these ludicrous sums.
Yeah.
I'm just like, can I please get the golden parachute here? Like, I don't want to really work. I just want to do this and just be sufficient. Exactly.
You want to be like Dave Chappelle and disappear for like
and then come back and make $60 million off of like 2 Netflix specials and then just dip back into the wilderness again.
Exactly. I think he probably was just like running out of money. He was just like, he's like, okay, this is my livelihood. Here you go. Now I need some money. I think because he does this. Did you see those?
I saw both the specials. They're hilarious.
Oh my God, they were. Yeah, that's what I was gonna say. He did that joke about like Kevin Hart when it's like how much money he makes. I was like, that's my goal.
I want to be Kevin Hart rich.
Kevin Hart. He was like, you know how much money you got to make to be able to say "shut the fuck up" to your wife?
Roughly 7 figures.
Yeah, he's like, yeah. So. Did Dave Chappelle? Did you listen to him? Was that sort of one of those came later, or is that?
Dave Chappelle came later after I had already discovered the Chappelle Show, and I had watched all of that. Mm-hmm. I then saw Dave Chappelle stand up, and I was very entertained by it. Very entertained by everything that man does.
Mm-hmm. What would you sort of say like is your favorite? Do you have like a favorite, or do you have a
favorite? I mean, Carlin would definitely, in my book, have to be the most talented of the bunch.
Yeah.
Just because, like, he would write these long, like, theatrical 50-minute sets and memorize every word. And every word was deliberate. It wasn't just an idea and then he told some jokes about, like, he was so on point in what he in the messages he wanted to convey. And that's why I love George Carlin. But, like, I don't want to say that he's the best. I just don't want to say it because, like, there are so many other comedians that I love, like Eddie Izzard, and I'll even watch a little bit of Daniel Tosh. Like, I don't want to box myself in, and I couldn't decide for myself if I wanted to who the best comedian in my life has been, like who the most inspiring has been.
Even Daniel, you're still like even Daniel Tosh is like, well, if I have to, like...
I mean, okay, Daniel Tosh just isn't kind of on that same... He's famous and, like, successful, but he's not, like... He's not George Carlin,
Yeah,
no one just walks in and tells a few jokes that the internet's been telling and then becomes George Carlin. It's not how it works.
Yeah. I thought you were going to say Dane Cook.
Oh, no. No, Dane Cook is one comic I can't fade.
Yeah. I tried to listen to his stuff. He sounds like Daniel Tosh, but he's not as funny as Daniel Tosh.
Yeah, he's just like early, like 2000s, like I'm here for the young kids MTV style stand up. And it just like rubs me totally the wrong way every time I hear it.
I think he's supposed to be the most one of the most hated stand-ups.
Yeah, I wouldn't be surprised. He's definitely up there with, like...
He has a really bad reputation.
Lately, like, Amy Schumer is up there with him.
Oh, yeah, I've heard a lot of shit about her.
Yeah. She does it to herself, honestly, because she...
Yeah.
She's the kind of stand-up comedian who needs to remember that she's just a stand-up comedian. Like, just because you're a talking head on a screen sometimes doesn't mean we want your opinions about, like, politics and, like, the world around us. Like, stop.
When I hear her talk about politics... I'm just like, get back to the sex talk. That was the funny part. Get back to the sex. That was the funny part of your set.
And that was the other thing. Yeah. I would actually have to... I mean, it was at first, but I got to the point where I got tired of it, and I wanted her to be talking about other things in her stand-up, but the only thing she could ever make funny was sex jokes, and I'm like, I've had enough of this. I can't watch it anymore.
Mm-hmm.
It's
do
just
believe
repetitive.
Yeah. At first, I think I'm there with you because I think I did find her fun. I did find her funny at first, and then when I sort of really like after the third special, I was like, oh come on, like do something meaningful. Really.
Exactly.
Do you have how many like famous stand-ups have you seen kind of live like?
Well, I've met Eddie Izzard and Lewis Black.
Oh, met? Oh, wow.
Yeah,
That's cool.
took a selfie. I took a selfie with Eddie Izzard, and Lewis Black gave me his signature. He put it on the old newspaper copy with me in it.
Mm-hmm.
Have it framed up there. I saw Louis C.K. live. Who else have I seen live? I'm trying to remember. Like, I've seen a bunch of like less well-known comics live because when you do stand-up, you sit in a room waiting for your turn, and you watch all these other guys before you.
Yeah.
But those are the only three that I would say that I've like can remember having seen, and those two who I met.
Yeah. How did you meet them?
I went to their shows, and after the show, I was like waiting there, and then I was like, "Hey guys!" It was in the same building. Both happened at the same place that my brother graduated or had his graduation ceremony at, and I'm trying to remember where or what it's called, but it's like a performance house in downtown DC.
Mm-hmm. So it wasn't like you just got like backstage access, I guess.
No, I just waited until everyone else left and then approached them like a creepy person. But because I'm a kid, they didn't like mace me. Yeah,
because I'm going to see Bill Burr in June, late June, and he's my second favorite, I guess. And how do you go kind of see them out show you? So basically, you just say just wait it out.
As much as I don't want to admit this, getting them to let me backstage after everyone else had left took a fair bit of my mom's cleavage. And I'm just being honest when I say that. I'm not just saying it to be funny. Like, that's how you grease the wheels. Like, it's real life. But that's the best advice I can give you is get an attractive woman with you and have her be promiscuous in front of any authority that is in your way, and you'll get to what you're trying to get to much easier.
Mm-hmm. You're very lucky that your mom has a good sense of humor and that
she appreciates all this humor. And
my mom doesn't. My mom's like, I have a joke. She's like, I don't want to hear it because she doesn't find anything funny.
Aww.
Literally, she doesn't find like TV shows. Funny TV shows like, show Modern Family.
I've heard of it, but I have not actually extensively watched Modern Family.
Well, like we'll probably have
It's Always Sunny in Philadelphia.
She would never find that funny at all.
Yeah, that show's for like, I love that show, but it's for crazy people because they are crazy.
What other sitcoms do you watch? She will not like them. $10.
What other sitcoms have I watched? I mean, I've seen like Family Guy and American Dad, and those are like more animated.
Like those, yeah.
I've seen a little bit of Seinfeld. More of a stand-up than the show, but a little bit of the show also.
Yeah.
I don't know. That's all the comedies I can think of right now off the top of my head. Give me a second, though. I might come up with more.
Yeah. For the listeners, Leo, you have one?
No. I was just saying. Hold on. I'm not sure if
he's trying to find the spirit inside himself.
No, just like
figure out what sitcoms he has watched in his life.
Yeah, something like that.
Just try to. No, but I guess the point is she won't find anything funny, and I try to tell her like a joke that I've told, and she'll just like not like it at all, even if it was a joke that like everybody I've told it laughed. She won't laugh at all. Yeah, but yeah, you're lucky you have two, supportive,
very supportive parents.
Very supportive parents.
I can count on for just about anything.
Mm-hmm. So, how did you I want to ask. I had a question I wanted to ask. How did you how did you get to get the opportunity to perform in New York? Did you when you were like all the way down there in DC? Like how?
I mean, they saw some of my stuff on the internet. And it's just a matter of sending a few emails and buying bus tickets.
Mm-hmm.
The world's it's a lot easier to get gigs across the country now than it was like 50 years ago.
I'd imagine.
Now you just like Skype somebody like this, and you're just like, I'm coming over.
Yeah.
I'm gonna take a plane. I'll be there in a few hours.
Actually, I was funny in August when I originally approached your I don't know the number that's on your site about an interview. I was like, I was going to plan this great trip and I was going to interview him live in DC. I was going to save up the money for myself. And then I got this Skype recorder. I was like, why would I ever do that?
Yeah, exactly. We live in the modern world.
Yeah. 50 years ago, I think you'd have to send a note. You had to write a letter and put it in the mail.
Yeah, you'd have to actually mail your set to the proprietors of the club so that they could proofread it and send it back to you, show you what you needed to cut out.
Mm-hmm. And that would take about, it'd take about 5 years to do that. Or it'd feel like that, Yeah. So you don't get them all.
You don't get them all.
Yeah. But yeah, this was good. This was a lot of fun.
Yeah, I had fun too.
Yeah, thank you for your time, Leo. This was great.
Yeah, we should definitely hit me up if you want me back here. Enjoyed myself, and I'm glad I got to be a part of this. So
yeah,
thanks for having me on.
Okay, see you next time.
Yeah, look forward to it.